What's going on, everybody? James here, RedemptionAgency.com. 21 years selling on eBay. Shall we talk about eBay and what the hell are they doing? It's December 6th. We should be flooded with sales right now, and they just keep on update. I can't even call them updates anymore to the site. They just keep changing things for the hell of changing things. And it tears everything else up. And it's so frustrating. So I'm making this video because I know a lot of you out there are as frustrated as I am. So I'm going to give you a lot of the issues that I am dealing with right now. And also, I had called in to eBay yesterday and talked to a representative. And I'm even going to tell you some of the things he's complaining about. So let's start, shall we? All right, this started about Saturday at about 3:45 p.m. Now, if you're new to my videos, how can I tell? Well, I've been doing this 21 years. I know what my average numbers are. I've got over 40,000 items in my store. I've got over 164,000 items on all 10 eBay sites across the world. I know what my average numbers are supposed to be. So please don't comment economy. This is far beyond any economy issue. These are actual facts. I don't like speculating unless I have a foundation of facts, and I've got plenty of foundation of facts, as you will see here. Now, it started off Saturday about 3:45 p.m. Started getting customers saying that there's no pay button. I've accepted offers from customers. There's no pay button. There's no way they can pay. That issue has been going on until even through today. Today is Tuesday morning. And there's also issues with customers trying to pay when they do have the pay button. It's just getting stuck in no man's land. Just the spinning wheel of death is what I like to call all that crap that goes on with that. Spinning wheel of death, because it kills internet, kills the flow, if you will. So I didn't write any of this down, so forgive me if I'm all over the place, but let's see. There seems to be a problem serving your request at this time. That's one issue I get trying to search eBay, trying to search for things as I'm listing, trying to get comps, see what the list price I'm at. Server issues. Go figure. Again, server issues have been going on literally since the fall updates of 2021. Over a year, about a year and 3 months, we have been having major server issues with the eBay website. That's a fact, because there's probably 4 different pages you get when it comes to server issues. One of them will tell you it's a server issue, or actually 2 may tell you it's actually a server issue. Then you have the ones that say there seems to be a problem serving your request at this time, and I got screenshots on my computer of all the different ones. But there's 4 or 5 different server search issue problems that's going on. Next problem is there is an issue processing your request at this time. Error code 500054. This is an error when you're trying to accept offers from your buyers, but you can't because it will not let you. Really, December 6th. All right. When I did call into eBay, he said that they're still with the issues with the offers. There's still offer issues going on. They're still working on it. So we know that's a problem. Other issues within drafts. There's constant server issues when you're trying to upload in drafts. There's issues with the item specifics in drafts. An example is, say you're putting up a t-shirt, you go into the item specifics, you start changing all the details, and then you got to wait about 15 seconds for the size to pop up so you can add the size, because for some reason the size is not there when you first start adding your item specifics in on like clothing. So that's been going on for that's been going on since they changed over to the new listing format. So, and it's just been hit and miss here and there. So, major issues going on. I'm trying to see. I just responded to something on eBay, so I'm just like, on Facebook. So I'm just kind of trying to see what I wrote yesterday, responding to this stuff. Because, okay, and here's one thing that happened yesterday, which is, all right, if you know my sales, especially in December, I should be pushing 80 to 100 items a day. I'm sitting 40 to 50 right now. There was last week before Saturday's issue, I was hitting, 70, 80, 100 items a day. Saturday came, just shut it all down for me. But so then I would have those blocks. If seen my videos, I can tell when the site is offline overnight because I'll have anywhere from a 5 to 8 hour window overnight where there's no emails, no offers, and no sales overnight, just totally blank. And then it slowly builds the next day. So I can tell when there's a shutdown overnight. So yesterday I was having, sales were very slowly trickling in Monday morning, Monday afternoon. By 5 p.m., I had to call eBay. There was actually a spurt from, I can remember the time that the sales happened, but there was a 2.5 hour window where nothing sold, no emails, nothing. And then between 1:30 and 2 p.m. Central Time, boom, 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 I sold 6 different items, 6 different customers sold through. And then it went dark again for another 2 hours. Then it slowly trickled in again. So at about 5 p.m., I called eBay. I had 3 organic sales by 5 p.m. Normally I do 25 organic sales a day average. So I call, and of course, well, there's nothing showing any issues, et cetera, the same old that you get. So I started asking some questions, and the representatives started talking. I'm like, because for me, it's about just getting more information I can get to try to figure this out. Because here's the thing with eBay, what goes on the tech side of it, they do not communicate with the reps on eBay. The reps on eBay are pretty much as green as we are, or at least, to an extent, they do have references to go to. But when it comes to everything else, they're kind of left out in the loop also. So they're not in the trenches of eBay with the issues. They're just there as the front buffer, if you will, to appease everybody who calls in or help them out when there are real, issues that somebody needs help with. But so I'm talking to him, I'm asking him questions, and he started going into the because I started going into it all. I mean, I was laying it out for him because he seemed like a seasoned rep, that he's been there for a while, the way he was talking and communicating and stuff. So here I am. I'm starting to lay it all out. I'm just, because that's what I do. And I think I've talked to this one before. So he actually had problems trying to get into his computer system to answer a question for me. So that was kind of odd there too. He said it was a different program other than eBay, but so what that was, I don't know, or if it was connected, I'm not sure. But so he actually told me too that the reps, the reps are sellers too. They're basically sellers who, take phone calls from their homes. Basically, they're not in an eBay building. They're in homes across the United States or whatever. I'll get somebody from California, or I'll get somebody from Salt Lake City, Utah, or whatever the case may be. Every time any of us gets a hold of somebody, so they're spread out, but they're all working on computers, connected, and what have you. So he started going into all the things that him and other reps are complaining about, and so I asked him, I'm like, the rumor out there in social media land between sellers is you guys are still built off of the 1995 framework, and that's what's causing all the issues. And he actually said, no, not really anymore. He said there are there's some things that are still running on the 1995 framework, but they're not major. They're just little things here and there. What they were, I didn't ask details. But he said the last major upgrade was the actual listing page and process. That was the last thing on the old framework that they had to change. The search engine supposedly on new framework, and et cetera, et cetera. So as for the framework of the website, that don't seem like that's going to be the issue anymore. It's coming back to the server issues because he says there are server issues that the reps himself and other reps complain about consistently about server issues, because not only as a seller it hinders you, as reps trying to help us, it hinders because they can't always get into what they need to get into. So that right there, I'm just like, really? Wow. And the way he was talking, he was like, he wasn't talking calmly when he was saying that they complain about it. I mean, he sounded very frustrated about the issues, and he kept, really putting it out there in his voice then, and the words he chose to use, that he don't understand what they're doing, why they're doing things, and what have you. So, and then he started going on a rant, and I'm like, yeah, let it on. So I'm like, I'm feeding into it. I'm like, give me more, give me more. And he's like, and he said that the frame, the changing over the framework of the listing page and stuff, it really helped unify it all, not just with desktop and phone, but between the different phones, because people would call in, and if they get a rep that, say, doesn't have an Android phone, it was very hard for the rep to help a seller if they had Android, because it was different than, say, an iPhone. So the upgrade was a positive thing where it unified everything so everybody could help anybody. But then he started going into a rant about the new layout. He's like, these freaking, he didn't say freaking, but he's like, the item specifics, they are overkill. We constantly complain about the overkill of these item specifics. He said, I don't know what they're doing over there. And he was going on and on and on. And I'm like, I told him my theory. I'm like, I think my new theory is that the CEO is trying to bring down eBay, because there's no sane CEO who'd let all these issues go on for as long as they have. And he's kind of laughed, and he's like, yeah, I've never met the guy, so I don't know. And I'm like, well, it's a joke. But yeah, so the reps, are complaining about the simple things that we are complaining about too: item specifics and server issues. And that seems like the biggest problem is these servers. And he said, I said, this has been going on for 1 year and 3 months with these servers. And he goes, I know, I get it. We've had a lot of server issues. So, and just as of this morning, I'm still getting server issues. So it kind of sucks being it's December, and I should be right now with my store doing $1,200 to $1,500 a day in sales. How do I know this? I've been doing this long enough to know. All right. Like and subscribe to my channel. Watch my videos. You will see the details I get into. It's not just talking because I'm frustrated, or, talking because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, or whatever the case may be. There's something hanging here. But so make sure you like and subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification. Plus, I got goofy videos. I don't always complain. I try not to complain. This is more of like getting frustration out video, if you will. I'm not really complaining. I'm getting the frustration out, plus updating you guys on what I know, like I always try to do anyway. So, yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else. That's pretty much the gist of it. The sales today have been bleak for December 6th. See, here's the thing that I learned over the years selling on eBay. I stand in front of my computer 12 hours a day listing and working on eBay. Okay. I ain't no half-time, part-time, don't know what the hell I'm doing, startup here. Now I forgot where I was going. Great. Just great. Now, I'm just I don't know. I was talking about my slow sales this morning. Um, yeah, I should be doing, $1,200 to $1,500 a day. I just had an item sell, so $10, 931. But I'm pushing 800 if I'm lucky. Now, a lot of you are like, I would die, I would kill for $800, and I get it. Trust me, I'm not complaining about the $800. I'm complaining about the issues that are causing all of us sales, period. It's not about the number. It's about the fact that these issues are causing us to lose sales. And it's a consistent thing that literally has been going on for about, 15 months now. And it seems like it's nonstop. And like I said, the one time I talked to the one rep before in the past, they've had discussions. I had sold a jacket. Somebody sent me an offer for, or not a jacket, a shirt that I picked up in the Smoky Mountains. I picked up this cool bowling shirt. Let me see if I can get it in the Smoky Mountains at an antique mall. I'll show you guys real quick because it was a cool shirt. I paid like, I don't know if I paid $8 for it. I think it was either 8 or 15. I don't remember exactly, but it was an old vintage bowling shirt. And it says Carter Lumber Studs, right? I'm like, oh, I got to get that. That's kind of kick ass, right? And they sent me an offer for $50 on it. So I just sold that for $50. So I've been working on getting a lot more close up, higher dollar things, because if eBay's going to be robbing us of sales, I can't rely on my media anymore. And that's another thing. When these issues happen, like yesterday, 5 p.m., 3 organic sales, and that's it. When that issue happens, and then when I have, hours within a day where nothing happens, the weird thing, a factual thing, and it's happened multiple times, is 95% of my sales are media, which is weird because my media I promote at a lower percentage even also. So it's very odd that when this does happen, and it's probably 3 times in a row I've noticed it now when it does happen, that 95% of my sales are media. And I'll show you what I mean. Let me back out of this Carter one here. See if I can do this with the left hand on the mouse. So here's the stuff that's sold recently. So we've got a shirt that just sold. We've got media, 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 media. You see what I'm saying? I've got 10,000 hats in my store. Media, media. I've got 1,000 t-shirts. I've got 1,000 pieces of other clothing. I've got toys. I've got electronics. I got whatever. I got home goods. I got pens. I got all kinds of stuff, right? Oh, look, we finally got a couple hats. Actually, the Summit hat was on international eBay site. Then we go media, 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 media. Oh, look, a sweatshirt and a belt. Oh, and a hat. Media, media. And then we go into yesterday's. I sold a pair of jeans. I was like, yeah, I sold a pair of jeans. Because I finally broke out. I've had jeans stored down in these corners for probably over a year, if not longer. And I'm like, I got to get this stuff up. I'm starting to clean out in here so I can bring from storage a whole new supply of merchandise. So my goal right now is to, like, all this is drafted. I'm even putting my personal stuff in a store at a very elevated price, and then putting it on display. So if somebody wants it more than I do, they can buy it. But anyway, back to this. Media, we got a couple clothing. Let's see. This was the end of yesterday. But then right before that, media, media, media. Whoops, I'm sorry. Media, jacket, media, media, jacket. So it wasn't as bad last night, but into today when I started noticing, or overnight, I should say, and then into today, where it's 95% media, I'm like, and what it feels like when this happens, and what normally happens the other 2 times, it feels like the items are indexing back again, like the site's coming back up, if you will, because my media seems to come back first. And then if it continues the way it has the last two times later in the day, all my other stuff will start selling. But what's weird is when this happens, there's another coincidence that happens. I will sell, say, I'll sell 5 items, and 3 of those 5 items are in the same tote that I stored in. And what that usually means is they were listed at the same time. So it's almost like it's indexing back in a certain order, if you will. Because if I have 5 sales and 3 of them are in the same tote, that's weird. So that happens too. So I expect that to happen later today as my other items start indexing back. And that's a theory right there, because that's what it feels like. So, and I did ask him yesterday, I'm like, when the site is down overnight for, 5 to 8 hours, when I have nothing in back, when they flip it back on or get back up, do the items have to index back again onto eBay? He said no. What happens is they shut the server down, so nobody can get onto that server. So I guess if I'm on that server, nobody can get to my stuff, is the way I kind of took it. And he said when they bring it back up, all your items don't have to index. So he says. So I don't know. So maybe there's other things that going on other than maintenance that make these items index back again when a day is just totally off, whether it's, it refreshes. I know sometimes when you used to call in, a rep could refresh your store. Then all of a sudden, a few hours later, your sales would start coming in again. So, and this is kind of reminiscent of, if you remember, the beginning of November. The beginning of November, I was on vacation. I had to call into eBay because it was 1 p.m. I was standing next to, I forget what it was called, like the Nike outlet store. And I had to call in because I had one sale at 1 p.m. 40,000 items. I had one sale at 1 p.m. So this happened at the beginning of November also. And now we're at the beginning of December and it's starting to happen again. Where 2 months before that, at the beginning of the month, sales were just killing, boom, 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 boom. Because I would have this one person on YouTube who would always say, it's beginning of the month, people getting checks, people getting checks. And so to have the last 2 months where it does the opposite, something's up. So definitely server issues going on. The reps are complaining about it just as much as we are. And they are also complaining about all the item-specific issues, or the overkill on the item-specifics. Anyway, that's where everything is. I'm going back. I still got to get 200 items listed today. I'm only at about 25 right now, totally drafted fully. So I've got some work to do, but I still got 45 minutes to do the other 25, so shouldn't be no problem. So I'm going to get that stuff listed and get to listing, because that's all you can do. No matter what you're doing, I look at it this way. List, because when it does work, the sales are just going to flow and roll in like they should when it's working. I had started to say something earlier, and I think I got sidetracked. I had talked to a rep prior, and they have conversations about what to do about the bad servers, because she had told me that they even had within conversations, I guess as a company, on using Amazon servers because they're more reliable than the eBay servers. So it seems like everything, well, maybe not everything, because the pay button missing and stuff, majority of the items when it comes to sales is server issues. Now, what happens with the whole pay button issue going on and stuff? And it's kind of weird because I noticed this, like I have issues in the promoted area too, when I go into promote areas or in my promotions and start them fresh again, because when I'm having these issues, I try to bump the algorithm, if you will, just in case it's something algorithm related. Even though it usually never works, I do it anyway. So I'll end my promotions and start them up again, or I'll end my sales and start them up again. So I've been in promotions and it'll error out in promotions also. So what was I was going somewhere with that. I should write this stuff down before I talk. But yeah, so what's causing the buttons to disappear? I'm not a tech person, so I do not know. But, oh, I was going to say, I noticed an update. Saturday, when all these issues started, I noticed an update within the promoted there. Was it promoted or the sales? I think it was promoted. They had changed the layout a little bit. The format looked more like the listing format with like no sharp edges. Everything was kind of oval shaped and stuff, if I remember correctly. But so I noticed that change, and that's when all the issues start. So it's almost, they just keep changing stuff in the middle of fourth quarter. And that's, I know a lot of you always complain about that, and it's never made sense to me either. Why do they do all the maintenance or all the updates, the fall updates on the worst part of the year to do it? They should be doing it in June and July, when those are the lowest months of the year for sales, because families are out, at least not counting the last 2 years, but all the 19 years before that. June and July are always the slowest months. So they should be doing the stuff during that month so that they can just leave the site alone in fourth quarter and we could all reap the benefits. Because it's not just you and me. If I am feeling as one seller that I'm losing, say, $200 a day, just imagine timesing that by how many eBay sellers there are and how much money eBay themselves are losing because of these bad servers. You would think that it would pay for itself to change servers, to get new servers, whatever the case may be. Like I said, I don't know how all that works, but you would think that they've got to be losing millions of dollars a year because of these server issues. So, I don't know. Anyway, that's all I've got that I can think of anyway. I'm sure as soon as I hit stop, I'll think of something else. But, oh, that's the gist of it, if you will. So, thanks everybody for watching. I'm probably not going to put no other videos up today because I just want to concentrate on just these listings. I'm probably not even going to record the listing or record myself listing today just because I want to just pile through it all. So I'll be changing things up. It won't be consistently picture. It might be picture this, draft a couple, picture a couple. So I'll be all over the place today. So thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you in the next video, unless I die first.